Hello, I'm going to do the Capricorn love reading, and this may or may not resonate with you. If it does, take the parts that do resonate, and if it does not, leave the parts that do not resonate, as those may be meant for someone else. All right, we're going to get our romance angel cards. We're going to look at what you may possibly be struggling with within a relationship. We're going to get our tarot. We're going to look at what you may be struggling with, what you may need to look at, and possible future energies that may be coming in for you. All right, so Capricorn in love, Capricorn relationships. This could be a friendship, this could be a partnership, this could just be something within yourself that you're struggling with. All right. This one flipped over and we have codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. So that it's kind of like you're relying on someone or something else in order, instead of making choices for yourself, that you're kind of looking for answers through someone or something else, or that you're not able to face something, that you're not able to deal with something, and that you're using something to kind of stuff down those feelings or stuff down those emotions or numb those feelings or emotions. All right, so let's get some tarot. What are you struggling with? I feel like these two wanted to come out. So we have Temperance, and then we have Two of Pentacles. And Temperance can represent Sagittarius. Again, I feel like with these, the balance of the water between the two cups, and then Two of Pentacles represents balance. And then we also have the infinity sign around here, which represents individual empowerment and everlasting love. And I almost feel like with that, are you struggling with that individual empowerment, that strength within yourself? There's something that's off balance. There's something that's not feeling right to you. Could be within a relationship that one person, you feel that one person has more control than the other person, or one person is trying to control the other person, or you feel like one person is always getting something and one person isn't. That there's no balance within the relationship, that it's one-sided. All right, what you may need to look at, we have the Strength card. Again, we have the infinity sign, so that's coming out again for us. Strength card, your strength within yourself, right? Your power, your individual empowerment within yourself. Sometimes we get in relationships where we feel like the other person has all the power and the other person has all the control, or we're giving that to that other person, right? We're afraid, well, I better do this or I better do that so that person doesn't leave me. But then you're giving up your power to that person. You're giving up control to that person, and you're accepting less for yourself because you're giving that to the other person because you're afraid that that person's going to leave you, right? Or that person's going to walk away. But then you have to ask yourself, do I really want someone that I have to give my, all that to, right? Am I making choices for that person and not, am I losing my individuality within the relationship? Future energies, taking the steps, taking the initial first steps, taking the initial first steps to make the change. Justice, that could also represent Libra. And that is that balance, things happening for you, your side, right? Choosing you. All right. Sometimes we do that, sometimes we just, and we don't even realize how much we've done it until we've kind of stepped back and we realize, wow, I really lost myself in that relationship. Or why am I always giving, and that person is taking? This could be a friendship, this could be any type of relationship. It could be a family member. Sometimes family members do that too, right? They're always taking. We have the Knight of Pentacles struggling with that, moving forward. That I feel like it's struggling with the good within the relationship. Horned God, that could be Aries, struggling with your own power, struggling with your own direction, struggling with control of maybe that other person, that they're being overbearing, struggling with listening to your inner voice, the high priestess, that you're not listening to yourself, right? You're struggling with that. Like you're not hearing that. I feel like your inner voice is trying to tell you something, but you're making excuses not to listen to it, or you're not acknowledging that feeling, right? You're not acknowledging what your inner voice is telling you, and you're like, no, it'll get better, right? Are you making excuses for someone else's bad behavior? I know I've certainly done that plenty of times. Page of Swords is about looking at the negative and those things that you have to deal with. And again, sometimes we just try and ignore those, or we try to make excuses for those. And we're like, oh, I just don't want to deal with it. I don't want to look at that. But sometimes we have to take a hard look at things, right? We have to learn from the past. We have the owl here. Sometimes it's not clear to us, but we know that if we listen to our inner voice, that there's something that we have to deal with, and we have to embrace our own power, our individual empowerment, and see who's on our side and who's not on our side. Is this person really on our side, right? Are they really looking out for our own best interests? Are they respecting us? Are they making good choices that involve us? And I almost feel like are you looking at this relationship through rose-colored glasses? And do you need to take those off and take a good hard look as to what's going on here? And I feel like it's taking those steps to get to your King of Pentacles, your harvest, your fulfillment, what works for you, like focusing on your harvest. Because he's sitting here and he's happy and he's got the flowers around him and he has the cow and the grounds are very lush and he has the flowers and he has the big pentacle and your own fulfillment, and seeing who's on your side, right, and who's not. Nature, which is the devil card, and the hunter is setting the trap, but the bear sees that. But I almost feel like you take off those rose-colored glasses and you see things for what they are. And you're no longer in that codependency energy, and you're realizing, you know what, I really was kind of doing that. I was letting that other person set that trap for me, and I'd step in that trap every single time. But you know what, I'm coming into my own power, and I see that this person is setting this trap, and I'm not going to step in that anymore. I'm not going to fall for that anymore. We have a number 14, which is the Siddhi, which is temperance. And again, that's over here. And I feel like it's kind of brewing your own potion, right? That's what she's doing here. But she has a Siddhi, which is all these little fairies that are helping her. And I feel like maybe it's listening to that inner voice and becoming in touch with your inner voice and what it's telling you. And I feel like you're just not listening to it here. But when you start listening to it, you start to take off those rose-colored glasses and you start to figure out, okay, what is my 10 of Cups, right? What is my 10 of Cups? Not the other person's 10 of Cups. What is my 10 of Cups? Right? Where do I want to be? I want to have this cozy feeling. I want to have this calm feeling. I want to have this safe feeling. And am I not having that? And how do I get that? How do I achieve that? But I feel like this is sort of your realization here, right? This line here, I feel, is your realization. This is what you're struggling with, and this is what's happening. And then taking the initial first steps to see what you need to do to get to your 10 of Cups. Bottom of the deck is Page of Wands, and I almost feel like it could be setting those boundaries for some people, right? But it also could be, Page of Wands is that communication also. That communication. I feel like that's lacking. But I also feel like you need to communicate with that person that if you're feeling this way, that if you're feeling, that your voice isn't being heard, if you're feeling like you're struggling and you're wondering, well, are you on my side or you're not on my side? If you're feeling that way, that you have to communicate it with this person and work things through if that's what you want to do, right? But there also may be within this relationship, you know, like I said, it could be a family member or a friendship, that you need to set boundaries with this person. And you're like, okay, I'm setting this boundary, right? Or I'm only going to tell you so much, because the Page of Wands is about communication, is that you're only going to tell this person X amount of information, and then the rest you're going to keep to yourself. Sometimes when we tell people too much, they use that as ammunition for us, against us in the future, because they're like, oh, well, I know all of this information about this person, so I'm going to use it. And some people use it in a negative way. And some people just use that as their own power. But do you have to set some boundaries with someone? You know, is it, you're like, okay, it can, you know, with some people, we do have to put some boundaries and some little walls up around us to protect ourselves. Some people we have to have those relationships with, you know, if it's a family member or for whatever reasons, that we do have to communicate with some people. And sometimes we trust them maybe a little too much, and we have to realize that, okay, well, the information that I'm telling to this person, are they using it in a positive way or a negative way? And do I need to kind of reassess that relationship and say, you know what, I got to back away a little bit. You know, I still want to keep that person in my life, or I still need to keep that person in my life, but I need to back away a little bit, because this person is not using that information that I'm telling them in a positive way, and they're using it in a negative way. Sometimes we want to believe the best in people, but really, you know, we have to reassess that. All right, so let's get some more tarot here. Sometimes people change, right? Sometimes we can trust those people and we can believe in those people, but then they change, something happens to them, or they're not the same person that they used to be, and so then we have to readjust that. We have the Queen of Pentacles, which I feel like that represents that friendship. So it could be a friendship that you're dealing with. We have the Death card, which can represent Scorpio, that there's something that has to be let go of here. But then there's also that change, that transformation and that change. I feel like this relationship is changing. You're kind of going from that codependency, and then it's turning into your own power and your own strength. We have the Six of Cups, being happy. I feel like you haven't been happy in a while. I feel like you've been kind of sad. I feel like you've kind of missed something. It could also represent a long-term relationship that's had its ups and downs, right? We have the Three of Pentacles. If you want change within something, within a relationship, you have to work at it. Right? You have to make the changes. You have to do something about it. If you're not happy with something, you have to make those changes. You have to figure out what's going on first, right? You have to figure out, okay, and working on dealing with those more tougher issues, those harder things, right? Those tougher conversations. You know, we have to have those conversations where like, you know, this is really bothering me, and we have to have this talk to work it through. We have, the Seven of Swords. I feel like you feel like there's some sort of deception here, but it could be that deception within yourself, that you're telling yourself that you're happy, right? You're telling yourself, oh, it'll get better, that you're wearing those rose-colored glasses, that it's time to take those rose-colored glasses off, right? And see it for what it is, right? To really see what's going on here, to see what is really going on in this relationship and what's happening here, to see the trap, right? To see that trap that's being set for you. We have the Three of Wands moving towards the future. We have the Fool, which is on the sail. So I feel like there's big changes coming in for you, but they're very positive changes. Not accepting less than what you feel you deserve. Not putting limits on a relationship and saying, well, you know, this is the best I can do, or this is all that I'm going to get, or this is all that I'm going to have. You know, don't put limits on that. But also taking a rest. I feel like there's a lot of emotional work going on here for you, but also taking that rest, right? But staying positive. Justice card. Again, we have the Justice card up there. Finding that balance within this relationship. You know, I don't see anything about walking away, but that's up to you. And again, I said, like keeping that relationship, setting those boundaries and saying, okay, I'm only going to, you know, maybe I need to cut back the time that I'm spending with this person. Maybe I need to cut back what I'm telling this person, because they're not, using that in the best possible way. Is this person really on my side? I feel like something comes to light for you. Tower, look at that. We have the Tower as overall energy. Definitely, I feel like that's what this reading is tearing something down, right? You're tearing something down. You're figuring out, you know, is this person on my side? Is this person not on my side? What is the best? What works for me? I need to look out for me. Is this person setting a trap? Am I seeing this clearer now? And then rebuilding it. Do you want to rebuild this relationship? If you rebuild this relationship, is it going to be, well, I'll keep them in my lives, but it's going to be different? Do you want to work on this relationship? Do you want to rebuild it? Do you want this relationship to become stronger and more balanced? You know, do you have to have those tough conversations, right? Having those tough conversations and dealing with those things. If you want change in this relationship, you have to figure out what is the change that you want, and then communicating that change to that person, communicating how you're feeling. If you communicate with that person and you tell them how you're feeling, you tell them what you're going through, and that person decides that they don't want to hear it, that they don't want to acknowledge it, that they want to walk away from it, then you've kind of gotten your answer as, okay, we're going to set some boundaries here. That if that person doesn't want to have that, then you know, okay, well, that's where they stand. And so you've done everything that you can do, so then you can rebuild on your own. I'm curious as what the next card is. Yeah, that you can move on with your own, that you can move forward because you know you've done everything that you can do, because you need to look out for yourself, right? Because I feel like you haven't been. I feel like you haven't been. I feel like you haven't been making choices that are best for you, that you've been doing it more for this other person. And that they've maybe been setting that trap for you. And you're like, yep, you're not going to do that anymore. It's not going to happen. I'm coming into my individual empowerment. I'm coming into my own strength, right? Strength card is about handling a situation, but doing it with gentleness, right? Not going in with, you know, both guns ablazing. It's going in with that confidence and knowing, okay, this is how I feel and this is my truth, and that I'm ready to work on this, right? That I don't want to be in this energy anymore. That I have to make changes, so I have to make the effort. I want that balance within the relationship. All right, we have groundhog spirit, which is time to let go. There's definitely something that you have to let go of. I don't know if it's the relationship. I don't know if it's that, you know, if it's that codependency that you're relying on something or someone else. Time to let go of, maybe it's those rose-colored glasses, right? Time to let those go. And seeing things, this relationship, for what it truly is. All right. Thank you so much for watching. As always, stay positive, stay safe, and I will see you next time.